For the last 3 weeks, I've been obsessed with Harry Potter. I've been watching the movies, reading the books, and consuming any and every YouTube video on the subject. When I'm in that world, it's magical. But the second the movie ends, I'm back in my real life. And don't get me wrong, my life is good. I love it. But how can it compete with these fake worlds that are designed to be magical? So to avoid that feeling, I turn on another Harry Potter movie and the cycle repeats. Which brings me to why I wanted to make this video. I want to break this cycle and find out how I can get rid of this feeling that life will never be as good as the movies, or better yet, learn how I can make my life feel like one of these movies. So let's get into it. When you break them down, all stories are a collection of words arranged in different ways. But for some wild reason, these collections of words have the ability to make us feel emotions that we rarely feel in our day-to-day lives. But how are words able to make us feel any emotion at all? What is going on in our brains? Okay, I think I figured it out, and there is so much happening. Apparently, our brains have these things called mirror neurons, and these neurons fire when you perform an action, but also when you see an action be performed. So our brain is actually simulating the things that we see in our heads. Meaning when you see something in a movie or read something in a book, our brains aren't just observing, they're actually feeling. This kind of blew my mind. Like, our brains are just so cool. And the reason that our brains do this in the first place goes back thousands of years. It helps us learn things faster and empathize with other people. Babies learn to walk by watching other people walk. But our brains weren't designed with movies in mind. They don't know how to handle them. So when we're engrossed in a story, our brains are actually pumping us with the same hormones that it would be if we were living that experience. When we see danger, boom, adrenaline and cortisol. When there's romance, bam, oxytocin and dopamine. The movie ends and it's a happy ending. We get pumped full of endorphins and serotonin. It's why we cry when a character we love dies. It's why we want to defeat Voldemort just as much as Harry does. Even though we know none of it's real, we're feeling the emotions of the characters that we're watching. It's why after a movie's over, and I actually don't know if this is a relatable experience or if it's just me, but I can't stop thinking about that movie, and I'm not just thinking about it. I'm actually putting myself into the movie. I'm friends with Harry, Ron, and Hermione, and I'm helping them take down Voldemort. Really hope that's a relatable experience. The movie ends, but we're still hopped up on the same hormones that we got from the movie, and our bodies just don't know how to process that. All of this is where the gap between fiction and reality really comes from. It's why you might actually feel your emotions more when you're watching or reading something rather than living a similar experience. Because in real life, you're not just experiencing something like how you can just sit and watch a movie. Your thoughts, fears, insecurities, and anxieties get in the way. They take you out of the moment, bring you into your head, and can make things feel not magical. But when you're watching or reading a story, you can cut through everything in your head and experience just the perfectly curated moment that is designed by experts to bring emotion out. So I think I'm starting to understand this a little bit more. I know why stories feel better than real life, but I still need to learn how to not feel like that. Stories are not reality. Maybe this is obvious to some people, but it wasn't to me. They have some very distinct, important differences. Let's use Harry Potter as an example. If you add up the runtime of all 8 Harry Potter movies, you get 19 hours and 39 minutes. But they take place over 7 years. Meaning in less than 24 hours, we see 7 years of somebody's life, which by the way is less than this much. Stories are condensed to a point where we're only seeing the best moments. All we're seeing is a highlight reel. But that's what we have to see. If we saw all the boring moments, we'd get bored. Real life isn't designed by anybody. It's not perfectly written to make the hormones inside of you explode like these stories are. So these moments that feel magical, that perfect kiss that feels like fireworks. If you strip away all of the music and effects, then it's just a normal moment. One that probably feels a lot like real life. I've been comparing my life to this magical highlight reel. Of course, it's not gonna feel like that. In the real world, we have to figure out everything ourselves. But in the movies, it's a little different. Harry has a clear goal and mission that is given to him. His purpose is to defeat Voldemort. It's simple. He had a core group of friends that he just stumbled upon and he was friends with them for life. Simple. He starts dating his future wife when he's like 15 and they stay together forever. Simple. But real life is never simple. No matter what aspect of life it is, it's always going to be complicated or confusing at some point. Which is why escaping into a simple world feels so good. Though I doubt it feels good for these characters. If Harry was real and you asked him about it, I think the last thing he would say is that his life is simple. He would probably feel a lot like all of us real people. Being a real person in the moment and watching something are just two completely different feelings, which is what I wish I had known 10 years ago. And while this answers the question of what is happening in our brains and why it's happening, it doesn't really give me an answer to why I can't stop watching Harry Potter. My life is good. I shouldn't feel this way. Unless, of course, my life isn't as good as I thought it was.
For as long as I can remember, I had this deep desire to live in a TV show. I mean, honestly, I still kind of do. And I always just assumed it was because of the obvious. TV shows feel better than real life, everything we've been talking about. But now I'm starting to think that there was another reason. Back then, I was this shy, awkward kid who had no idea how to socialize with other humans. So anytime I had to deal with something uncomfortable, which was often, instead of facing it, I would go escape into another world where everything was simple and made sense. I would go watch these characters that I so badly wanted to be in real life and pretend that I lived in their worlds instead. So I think after all these years, I'm still kind of doing that. Meaning it's pretty obvious what I have to do.
Instead of escaping into these magical, fictional worlds, like I've done for years, I need to make this one into one of those magical worlds. Instead of running away when things get uncomfortable, I need to embrace discomfort and actually seek it out. I need to connect with real people and find my own purpose. I think then we can turn back to these stories that we love so much, but in a different way. Not to escape, but to learn, to observe, and to enjoy. I can look at what I want and then go make it happen. It's actually pretty simple when you think about it.